Super Bowl's over. WBC is right around the corner. It's officially baseball season. This is Fireside Baseball. That's Ryan. That's Sam. Guys, want to get right into it. Frankie Lindor is being evaluated for a stress reaction in his left, Hamate bone, and could miss up to 6 weeks. Lots of implications here. Obviously, 6 weeks would put you right around opening day, I believe, is the math on that. And they obviously signed Bo Bichette, got options at shortstop. But the bigger thing is how this ties into the WBC thing. I didn't ask how everyone's doing. I think everyone's doing pretty well. Want to jump right into it. Ryan, thoughts when you saw this news with Frankie Lindor and the potential injury and the surgery that could cost him 6 weeks?
Yeah, so I'm not stunned that Francisco Lindor isn't playing in the World Baseball Classic. We'll get into that, I'm sure. But with the hamate bone injury, man, I mean, this is pretty significant because you typically see a drop-off in power after hamate kind of issues. I know that he's not going to want to quick play this. You want to slow play this kind of injury, especially considering he just got surgery on his elbow this past offseason. So these are 2 surgeries on Lindor. The thing I'm probably paying attention to the most is the power, but also the defense. So last 3-4 years of defense for Lindor, 2022, 9 fielding run value, 2023, 7 fielding run value, 2024, 14 fielding run value, 2025, 3 fielding run value. This is the worst of his career at any other point in his career. His defensive run saved, -1, second worst mark of his career, outs above average, 5, worst mark of his career. Where is Francisco Lindor's physical tools, athletic tests? What are they going to look like after elbow and now a hamate surgery? That is the big question with Lindor right now because your players break down in their 30s. Everyone kind of forgets that. Yeah.
Other side of 30, like you start to pile up. It feels more notable.
Yes. I mean, I'm not like telling you that you have to sell all your Lindor stock. If you guys have him in fantasy, if you have him in, if you just are a Met fan, I'm not telling you this is the end of Francisco Lindor, but I am definitely going to keep an eye on how his batted ball data looks, and how his arm strength looks, and how his overall defensive profile looks after 2 pretty notable surgeries.
Yeah. Sam, you saw this news. Your mind went where?
Yeah, the double injury stuff is super scary. I think hamate bone, and I immediately think, because we're Yankee fans, I think Andrew Benintendi, and when he injured his hamate bone, like directly after coming over to the team, what happened to Andrew Benintendi after he left the Yankees? He signed that big contract with the White Sox and immediately turned into like a complete net negative, like a 600 OPS guy out there in Chicago. That contract looks like a shambles. So that's what my mind immediately goes to. The double injuries thing is super scary. I know how important Frankie Lindor is to this Mets team. However, the timeline kind of sets him up well to the point where, hey, it's February 10th. If it's going to be a 6-week recovery, we can kind of get him back by opening day, get things rolling. If for some reason he is not ready to go, this is then where kind of Bo Bichette can fill in at shortstop for them. They'll be completely okay over there at that spot. And I also think that it probably gives Bichette, some sort of familiarity with this Mets team. He's going to go back to his normal position if they have to do that in that case, instead of immediately going over to third base where this is going to be super fresh for him. He can kind of warm up and get ready. But this Lindor, the double injury thing in an offseason is super scary, coming off of a season where this Mets team severely disappointed, and this is their captain, this is their leader in the clubhouse. They need him more than ever at this point in time for them to be able to have success. So it's super scary. But I think that he will be okay. Ryan, I do know that the defensive stuff is super scary. I've seen a ton about that on Twitter this offseason, that, while he has been this all-world defender for the entire time that he's played Major League Baseball, the slight drop-off is still a positive on the defensive side of the ball, but the slight drop-off is super concerning, and him being in his 30s is scary as well, plus the double injury. So it's scary, but I have full faith that he will still be a top 5 shortstop in Major League Baseball when it's all said and done, if he can recover properly from the hamate bone. But, again, I can't say it enough. Double injury stuff in the same offseason is super scary.
Man, I'm thinking, is this going to be the first year we see in a while where that WAR dips back under 5 for him? He's been up above 5. His worst year was 2021. It was a 3 WAR season in 125 games, but he's been consistently up above 5 WAR. And I'm wondering, is this the moment? Now, last year, I remember he had the horrible opening weekend, and his timing was way out of whack. I think he started off as like 0 for his first 11 before heating up, obviously, month 2. But I'm wondering, like, how slow of a start is he going to get off to when he comes back after the 6 weeks? Like, is there going to be that time to adjust? And he's a guy that his entire time in New York has been very cold to start, we'll heat up, but then we'll go back to cold. You wonder how long that cold will take because you've essentially zapped away spring training. Now, this is our first time in spring training, all of us talking. I don't know how important spring training is to you guys, but I think for someone like him, I think it's important to kind of get him closer to ready to go. And without that being there, it's like, could we see the first sub 5 WAR season from him? Which, look, if he posts 4.5 WAR, it's like, okay, good shit. Like you're still a good shortstop. I'm just wondering if this is going to be like the part where look, we hit the high. We saw Bitcoin hit 124. Let's sell. Let's sell now. So not all of it, some of it. Word to Ryan.
Yeah, so the first thing I think of is I think this is more of a regular season issue if I'm the Mets, or at least the way I'm looking at it, because I still believe in Francisco Lindor. And the reason I say it's a regular season issue, and it is a pretty notable one, like I think the Mets are going to get in the cheap middle infield, hey, can I swing a trade for a guy market? Because who's their backup shortstop? And don't tell me it's Ronnie Mauricio. Have you seen Ronnie Mauricio after the ACL surgeries try and move laterally? I understand Bo Bichette.
He can hardly play third. Ronnie could hardly play third. He can't play short.
And I know Bo could do it. I know we talked about Bo as a shortstop, but
we talk about Bo as a shortstop to fill in. He's also the worst defensive shortstop in the sport.
Right. So let's look at the teams who are really in on Bo Bichette. Incumbent team Blue Jays, Phillies nearly thought they signed him. Mets actually signed him. Mm-hmm. Did any of those teams want to sign him as their shortstop? Answer's no. So I am very curious. I think the Mets are going to get involved in the shortstop market to some extent. Not saying they're going to get some big name, but I think we'll see kind of like how the Braves almost immediately signed. Who was it? It's former Yankee farmhand too. I'm really bad at this. They signed a shortstop literally the day after they found out Ha-Seong Kim was broken essentially. Was going to miss the start of the year. So I think we're going to see something pretty similar here.
Why can I not pick up on who that name is?
I can't either. Is it? He was on the Orioles.
Like Tyler Wade or something, right?
No, he was on the Orioles. I can pull it up right now on Roster Resource, but I want to clarify how embarrassed I am that I couldn't get the fact that Jorge Mateo. I couldn't remember Jorge Mateo's name. Like that's really embarrassing.
Yeah, no, it was Jorge Mateo, literally immediately. Yeah.
Just real quick on Lindor, and this is like such a weird like deep cut. You guys remember last year the fiasco around the torpedo bats opening weekend?
Yes.
Yeah,
dude, my deep theory is that Michael K completely blew up the Frankie Lindor like supposed to be like press run for the torpedo bats, because that opening weekend Frankie Lindor also had the torpedo bats and also had his go up for sale, but then it was Jazz Chisholm and Anthony Volpe and Cody Bellinger that went berserk. But to buy the first torpedo bat, it was a Frankie Lindor torpedo bat, but he opened up 0 for 11. So that's just a separate side story that I thought was funny with the whole torpedo bat thing.
That was hilarious. That conversation was like unbelievably funny because the Yankees scored like 30 runs. I think it was more than 30 runs opening weekend, and it was like, well, they're cheating, they're doing this, they're doing that, but the bats have been around for years. So like, that
and literally Frankie Lindor had a media like a press run, and I'm sure they were hoping he had a crazy opening weekend so they could market these bats.
Right.
And what ended up happening was Jazz had the crazy opening weekend. Volpe had the Yankees had the crazy opening weekend, and they still trying to sell these Lindor torpedo bats, and it's like, wait a second, like he's 0 for his first 11.
Yeah, right.
I think it's really funny because from a fan perspective, if you're a Yankee fan, like that was a great weekend. From a Fireside Yankees perspective, that is one of the worst weekends Sam has probably ever had for clipping games because I was gone for the Saturday game, and then Sunday I actually went to the game, and the Yankees scored 1 million runs.
Well,
was that Sunday game the 3 pitches?
No, that was Saturday.
Saturday game.
Okay, that was Saturday because that was Peraza hit a home run too.
Correct. He was the
last. And I was like, wait a second, we got a backup shortstop. Like that's literally like my thoughts, like the overreacting opening weekend because I couldn't help it. Like we got a backup shortstop.
He could be a backup shortstop if you're talking about building like a really competitive Double-A lineup. Like I think he could do it. I think he could do it.
I saw a ridiculous.
He's the worst baseball player I've ever seen in my life.
Dude, I was gonna say I saw a ridiculous clip from Warmonger on Twitter of Zach Neto like a ground ball to short and throwing it to first, and first baseman just completely just hits his glove, falls out, and it's Peraza playing first for the Angels.
It's just like once he got dealt to Los Angeles, I would like flip through games like late at night. Like once you get done the 7 o'clock slate of games, you like hit the 10 o'clock slate of games, and there's like 3 or 4 games on. I just flipped. Like I think it was a week after he got dealt, and he was playing first base, and I was like, guys, what are we doing? And then I think like 2 days later,
he gave the grand slam.
He was pitching in a blowout in Texas, and he gives up a grand slam. I think it was like I think Higgy hit it too. I think
dude, it was insane Yankee overlap. I will also say about that weekend, Aaron Judge hit a ball on Sunday, a home run in the first inning. And I shit you not, the Brewers left fielder did not take, like, it was not, there was no courtesy look. He literally just stands there. I think it was Churio who was playing left field at the time. He's literally, he literally just stands there and he just goes, yeah, just that's it. That's all he did. No courtesy run, no little jog, no little. Right. He didn't even get his eyes did not cross the plane of his back or his shoulder.
Yeah, dude. The two funniest ones were his and then Randy Rosareno in Seattle when he hit that one like 460, and Randy didn't even look up. Right, just I know what it is. But anyway, I do want to get back to the show. My bad. Didn't mean to sidetrack. But look, hey, we got all kinds of stuff on Fireside Yankees, so go check that out, and the link's somewhere below, I'm sure. Marcell Ozuna. 1 year, $12 million deal. And this is monumental to me because I'm Chris Drew. I'm small market Chris Drew. This is monumental to me because Sam's got the hat on. The Pirates are now over $100 million payroll for the first time. For the first time in franchise history. This means something to me. This is a big deal. Go Pirates, man. Now look, definitely some concerns with Marcell, some of the underlying metrics. The OPS dropped, the bat speed dropped. It looks like it's gonna fall off the cliff this year, but there is at least an attempt to spend. And with this opening day payroll, it's now more than the Guardians payroll. And the Guardians have been a playoff team every year. So I'm just saying, just want to point that out. They're spending more than the Guardians.
Chris Drew. Sam, I'll let you take this one as the
Chris Drew, do you remember what you said to me last week about the Pittsburgh Pirates, man? We actually had a very small conversation.
I think I said they were pretend spending.
They were pretend spending, and then they go out and pretend spend again. They do it again, man.
They did it again.
Listen, this is, for a team that has struggled in free agency for years at this point, right? When was the last time they even caught a big fish? This was the first time they handed out a multi-year deal, and it was like Ivan Nova. They gave him like a 3-year deal, but for them to pick up Lau, O'Hearn, and now Ozuna in an offseason, I would say probably says to Paul Skeens, hey, we're at least trying something. Yeah, they had an offer on the table for Kyle Schwarber. They're at least trying to spend and put out a serviceable product on the field. If I'm living in Pittsburgh, I'm going to watch this team. There's talent on this roster now that you want to go out and you want to see if they compete in a relatively weak NL Central. It's literally just the Brewers are bust out there. Maybe the Cubs get involved. The Reds are kind of whatever. But the Pirates, it's a serviceable team that you can look at and say, you know what? Maybe I will watch Pirates baseball tonight. And for their ownership group, I think that shows to me that they're at least trying something. And for Paul Skeens, he's probably sitting back and saying, okay, they're at least spending some sort of money. It being a $100 million payroll for the first time in franchise history is unbelievably huge for them. And honestly, guys, the lineup doesn't look trash. I think this is the first time I've looked at a Pirates lineup in about 10 years and said, you know what, guys? I do not think it's trash. You got Ozuna, you got O'Hearn, you got Lau, you got O'Neal Cruz in there, Brian Reynolds, who has been weird for the past couple of years, but he's still hanging out there. Spencer Horwitz, who had a bunch of bombs last year. It is not the worst room in the world, and they have a really solid pitching staff, guys. This Pirates team looks a lot more impressive than any of these other Pirates teams they put out in the last 5 years. So, yes, I am impressed with this. This does make me happy. And small market Chris Drew, God damn it, I can't even say it. Small market Chris Drew, I am with you all the way, and that's why I have the Pirates hat on today. Go Buccos, man. I love this for them. I think this is great.
I won't Ryan give your thoughts. I do have a question for both of you after Ryan gives his thoughts.
Okay. I'm going to be the resident Pirates downer here. I'm not moved at all. Their defense sucks in the outfield. It's O'Neal Cruz, Ryan O'Hearn, Brian Reynolds. You signed a DH when you need DH reps for these really bad defensive outfielders. Brandon Lau plays second. He's a really bad defender. Spencer Horwitz, I don't think is the worst defensive first baseman in the world, but he's not moving me. Joey Bart's their starting catcher. He's not a good defensive catcher. You're going to this team maybe finish 15th in OPS. Their team ERA is going to be way worse than their team FIP because they can't field the baseball. And I'm going to be real with you guys, for a team that has Paul Skeens has Paul Skeens for 2 more years. I think with 2 years left, you trade him. That's kind of where my mindset is at.
Well, I'm gonna bring that up in a little. I'll get to that next segment. I'm curious how Scooble changes the outlook for him.
So 2 years left with Skeens, and you have a really a very deeply flawed position player group. Is this team going to compete for the World Series? Answer's no.
Boo.
No. Yeah, my bar is you either compete for a World Series with Paul Skeens or I'm just not that interested.
No, see, and Ryan, and that is where it is not fair. You have that bar because that is the Yankee bar. We're talking about the Pirates. Look, what they're doing right now is this team, they are fielding the Temu version of the 2025 Cincinnati Reds. That's what it is. It is Temu Reds. They're going to have a really good pitching staff. They're going to have, suspect defense at times, but it's going to be really, really fun. And they're probably going to miss the playoffs. But we're going to look late in the year, and it's going to be like, wait a second. The Pirates aren't dead. We don't think they're going to make the playoffs, but the Pirates aren't dead. And that is a small market win. Now, look, I know it's Skeens. I know he's the best pitcher on the planet. I know these things. But you got to think about where you're coming from. You're talking about the kid that has been getting Fs since he was in the 3rd grade. He now is bringing pencils to school. I'm celebrating bringing the pencils to school. Are you?
That's great that he's bringing pencils to school.
You're a flawed student, but you now have something to write your name with. I will take that. That matters.
This is what I'm saying, dude. Good for them. That's
my dad's 5'5". I'm 5'8". I didn't get an award for that. I didn't get a tall guy award for being taller than my dad. We're both short. We're just both short. The Pirates are short of being a playoff team.
I really don't like your negative attitude, that kind of stuff, dude. Like, let's just be happy for somebody else, okay? Maybe
I'm happy. I'm happy for Mitch Keller.
For somebody else, for Mitch Keller. Why just for
Mitch
Keller?
Because Mitch Keller. No, because he's going to get when the Pirates are because the Pirates have a higher payroll now. When they're a not good team at the deadline, he'll get to go play for a contender. So good for Mitch Keller, man. Shout out this man. He gets to go play for a contender.
That's so bad, dude. That's so bad.
Chandler, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
I will say I am very excited.
They will be an enjoyable watch.
They're going to be a fun watch.
I am going to be very excited to watch Bubba Chandler and Braxton Ashcraft. Yeah. They are very talented. Like I don't think this team. If this team makes the postseason, I wouldn't be completely stunned. But I'm just not a Pirates guy.
Look, they're going to be 3 games back with 2 weeks left, and it's going to be. Oh my God, Skeens is like, oh my God, Skeens on. Oh my God, is Skeens going to go every 4 days? Which they would never do that. But like, oh my God, like with Skeens going 3 games back, like it could be fun. And then you're going to get O'Neal Cruz booted grounder in center field. 2 runs are going to score, and the playoffs are going to be over. And you're going to see the Skeens look off to the side. But it's going to be fun, Ryan. We're aiming for fun. You get over $100 million, you're fun.
Okay.
I forgot they traded for the password too. Like if they win 77 games, I think everybody's happy.
Except for Ryan.
Yeah, I would have been happy.
Ryan. Yeah, like they need to win 97 and like
if they win 85, I think it's a massive success of the season. You win 85, like I'll be. You win 85 and like. Hopefully you don't get the Dodgers. I do think it's pretty funny that the Reds they make the postseason and they get rewarded with the Dodgers in round 1.
What was it like 2 years ago? They played in the wild card round. Like the Dodgers were the 2 seed, and the Reds had to go out to the Reds had to go out to Los Angeles and just get stomped.
Oh, I think it was the Brewers actually in 2020. The Brewers were like terrible. They were below 500 team in like 2020, and they had to go get essentially like they got run ruled. It's kind of like how you're going to view like Great Britain playing the U.S. in the World Baseball Classic. You're just going to be like, yeah, they're going to win. Okay, just by how much?
No, was it Cincinnati last year that sucked?
Yeah,
Cincinnati last year.
It was
Cincinnati last year.
They went out to Los Angeles.
Green went out there and was just giving up tanks.
Yeah, like they went out there for nothing. Like it was just like, all right,
dude, Shohei Ohtani hit. He was just there for Shohei. They were just there for Shohei Ohtani to get his bat right. Just a little warm up, little 2 home runs in game 1. Was that what it was?
Yeah,
embarrassing.
And they were thunderous. Hey, look, the Pirates win total. I know you look 76.5. That's good.
I'll take the over on that. The Central Sox. I'll take the over on that. I'll go 79 wins.
77 to 78 wins.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. With that product.
The Guardians over under is 79.5. Now they win 80 games every year.
See, my head's telling me don't take the over, but like my heart is telling me take the over. That team is going to win a game against the Yankees in Cleveland in like April. That's going to make me want to claw my eyes out. Like that is guarantee.
And their win total went down after Framber signed with Detroit. And actually, this is a good chance to pivot. Detroit, their over-under this year is 80.5 for what it's worth. I do, just real quick, Scuba wins his ARB case. I want to ask you how much does that impact Skeens and the Pirates? Well, the Pirates look to move on from him earlier if that first number of ARB gets over 20.
I mean, I hope not. I think that it will affect it. And I'll be honest with you, Chris. Again, logically speaking, my heart says no, they shouldn't do that. My head tells me, yeah, I think they're going to move on from a little bit sooner maybe than we expected, just because that ARB number is going to be crazy.
Scooble winning his ARB and Skeens going into his ARB as the best pitcher in baseball. I don't think he's going to get 32 year one, but I think he's going to get a big enough number to make the Pirates feel like, yeah, we tried the high payroll. Let's move him now. Because look, my thought is the Pirates right now are pretend spending. We're going to pretend spend a little bit to say we tried, but God forbid that first number from Scooble on the ARB side or from Skeens on the ARB side comes in a little too high. We're calling everybody, and we want the Kings of Kings ransom back. And so that's my thought with the Pirates. And I think I've mixed up Scooble and Skeens' name like 20 times in that whole soliloquy. Just separately, but
you'll be all right. But the Skeens thing is super interesting. I mean, like if you try to deal him right now, you're never going to be able to deal him because you're going to ask for an entire other half of the team. What is it, like 5 years of control that he has left? Like it's going to be physically impossible for them to move on right now. But yeah, I do think it plays hand in hand. And like I also think, dude, that him getting 32 mil on an ARB deal, which by the way, I think he deserves. Like first or second best pitcher in baseball. Like that's a total number that you should be paying that guy if you're Detroit. I am so curious about his free agency next offseason. Like how much money he gets 32 million in an ARB case. Is he going to go and get 45 mil a year next year when he hits the market? Like somebody's going to hand him a check. And then by the time that Skeens hits free agency, what is baseball money going to look like? I know that we're kind of heading into a weird direction with financials and all that kind of stuff, and with the deferral stuff and all the Dodgers BS.
Yeah, we got to get past the work stuff, right? Like if Skeens was in the league like 5 years earlier, oh my God, he would get the most astronomical bat. Are you kidding me?
You're looking like it would be in that like Ohtani Soto range of like contracts that would get handed out, right? Like I could look at the high AV stuff, like the Kyle Tucker $60 million deal, but like that's only 4 years. Ohtani gets 10 for 7. And then like Soto gets what is like over $800 million when it's all said and done, like with everything all together. Like that's the type of number that Paul Skeens would get in this current market. Like that's how great of a pitcher he is.
I'll also say this, and I'm not trying to like downplay Scooble at all, but there was way more hype with Skeens coming out of college and being a rookie sensation. Skeens has a little bit of that marketability factor to him where I do think that's going to get baked into his costs. I mean, imagine Paul Skeens in Los Angeles with the Dodgers. That's must-watch TV. Imagine Paul Skeens in New York for either the Mets or the Yankees. Must-watch TV. Don't want to discount the Red Sox or the Phillies as like teams that he would be an absolute rock star on either. But I'm just saying in the general, and every single one of these teams are going to be in on him, right? This isn't a situation where you're going to be seeing 2, maybe 3 teams really flashing that kind of cash. This is going to be a Soto-like situation where teams who typically don't spend, Blue Jays are a spender. I forgot to mention them in this, but like the Red Sox don't spend money the way the Yankees or the Dodgers, even the Blue Jays do. They'll go to those lengths for a guy like Skeens. Everyone would. So I'm curious to see what that bidding war looks like in 4 years, fellas. It's 4 years, not 5. Remember, first year, one rookie of the year, so he got that year. So 4 years, fellas, until he's putting on the white and the navy blue piping. 4 years, fellas.
Hey, Libby's a Yankee fan. And I'll say that Fireside Yankee.
You're Yankee brain today, bro.
Big Yankee brain Ryan today.
I'll put 50. I would, if I could bet on it, I would put $50 on Paul Skeens being a Yankee now, just as a fan hedge bet.
I'll do it with you. I'll find it. There's a market out there somewhere.
I got 5 on it.
Oh, yeah, and he's cultured. A trivia question. You guys know I love trivia, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys tell me the highest first-year ARB deal of all time.
First-year ARB deal?
Yeah, because it'll be ARB 1 we're talking about.
My brain goes to Juan Soto?
No.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's – I don't know if Trout got an extension before then, so I'm going to guess no, it can't because of inflation.
I thought Trout got a pre-ARB extension, right?
He might – yes, but also like it was so long ago that there's no shot he's still it.
No, I'm just thinking about first-year guys.
Is it Ohtani? Did Ohtani –
it's not Ohtani. No.
He might have been –
It's recent, right? Is it like within the last 5 years?
Yeah. No, it's a little bit. It's
last 10.
Let me double check. I mean, let me see.
Bryce Harper.
I was going to think.
It's a superstar.
I'm just trying to think of guys that
didn't get there.
Tatis signed a pre-arb extension.
Yep. Machado?
No, because he got dealt.
Yeah.
All right, so he's 33 right now.
Is he a pitcher?
No, fielder.
Okay.
It's not like
Jose Ramirez?
No.
No, I wasn't. That wouldn't even make sense.
It's not. Is it like Christian Yelich?
Mookie Betts.
Oh,
Mookie
yeah,
Betts.
I should have landed
Okay,
that one.
got it.
That one,
all right,
yeah,
cool.
that's bad on
All right,
mine.
that makes sense. Okay, all right, I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense because he had 1 year left before he got dealt to Los Angeles and then immediately got extended. But that's how great he was at such a young age. Like when he came up, he immediately contributed to a World Series team.
So just to clarify, you were talking about first year ARB, like ARB 1, not ARB 3. See, that is where the kicker is because so many pre-ARB guys that if anyone gets extended, you got to knock them out of the pool.
Yeah.
No, that's the big thing.
Right.
You knock a lot of guys out of the pool. Like that's where you lose. Like Mike Trout, just lose a lot of guys early.
Yeah, even guys like Judge and Ohtani, they didn't break out by then. Like Ohtani wasn't Ohtani by ARB 1. Judge wasn't Judge in ARB 1, so that also is part of it.
Mm.
And I'll have to refine that because I saw that really in passing. But anyway, I do want to continue. Okay, Tigers offseason. They signed Framber, and it's funny because like the Framber signing came out, they gave Framber 32, right? The highest paid lefty at the ever, and obviously Max Fried was before that. But they signed Framber, and then immediately you get the ARB ruling from school. But I think the Tigers thought they won the ARB hearing. I think they felt like they won it actually.
So
I think
that was their backup plan, per se? Is that what you think?
Well, no,
is that like them signing Framber on that deal?
We're going to have more money to play with. And then so they paid Framber the 30+, and then got to give Scuba the 30+ too. Maybe I'm misreading that, but that's how I thought it was. But I also thought they shot themselves in the foot by signing Framber so immediately after the hearing.
Yeah, it was relatively bang. But I mean, I don't know, man. Because of the arbiters, like I know that he brought the Cy Youngs to his arbitration meeting and like didn't even have to pull him out. Like they immediately like kind of ruled that he had won that rather than the team. So I'm not necessarily sure. Maybe it was just kind of like hey, we can give Framber that kind of money. Chris, you and I recorded that day and we talked that day about how much money he was going to lose. And then literally, I think an hour after we got done, it was, hey, by the way, Framber's making $35 million a year.
Dude, we had a great.
By the way,
ridiculous.
Anthony Santander is out for 5 to 6 months. He just underwent surgery.
Oh wow!
Left labral surgery, 5 to 6 months. He's gone.
You know what's funny is we talked about that last week too, and that contract is hideous.
Right, because he got 100 M's.
I think that's hideous.
This is just the Nick Castellano. No, this is actually worse than the Castellano contract, probably.
Yeah,
definitely.
Because you also have to think he's going to grade out worse than a lot of his, and I know his athletic tests are already not great, at least mobility-wise. They're going to only get worse. He's a strict DH. I think he should be able to pick up first base, but I don't even know if that's what you can't play first. Vlad plays first. Oh my God, dude, what are they going to do with him?
Do you want to guess his OPS plus last year?
Was it sub 70?
Yes.
65?
57.
Jesus.
Yeah.
At least it was within 10? Yeah, here's kind of like the thing I look at with a lot of these teams dropping these bags on players who the market didn't want. Like Santander's a player the market didn't want. Framber's a guy the market didn't want. And this is a beautiful segue. The Tigers, I think, are doing this because they've admitted to everybody on planet Earth, we cannot pay Tarek Skubal. We're not going to try and do it. We're not going to try and keep him long term. We either are going to win it all this year or going a deep playoff run in his last year here, or at the deadline, we're capable of selling off. Look at the structure of that Framber contract. It's a player option in year 3. So let's look at the 2026 Tigers for a second. Let's say the Tigers are bad and they have to trade Skubal. Okay, you get a big haul. Then in 27, presuming that you're also not very good then, but you also have some young guys on the way, maybe that changes things. You're either good in 27 and can try and contend, or you're bad in 27. And then Framber can become someone you might be able to trade depending on how you on how teams value that player option, if you're able to kind of provide teams some insurance there. Point is, I think the Tigers, this is the right decision because I think you have to determine whether you're serious about keeping Skubal or not now, not in October, not in September. You know I'm not saying this should be the case, but this is the case. They cannot afford to pay Skubal the way that the Mets and the Dodgers and maybe even the Yankees are going to be able to pay him. So this is an admission of defeat, and they should be admitting it. And I think it's the right baseball move. You are really good this upcoming year. You are by far the best team in your division. And if you look at how they stack up against the best teams in the AL, I don't think they're as talented as like the Blue Jays, the Mariners, the Yankees, but they have the pitching to go, hey, here's Skubal game 1, Framber game 2. Your season's over, by the way. If you run into them and you don't show up and have your A game, that is a really deadly situation to put other teams in.
This is them going for it, and if it feels flat, they will move Skubal. Like
I think they can win the World Series pretty. I wouldn't be stunned if they at least won the pennant. Like I wouldn't be stunned by that. Okay, they play in the weakest division. They could win 95 plus games in that division. Post the playoff series.
Any guesses of what their over under is?
Didn't you say it was 80? Didn't you say it was 80 and a half?
It was 85 and a half.
Okay, it's 85 and a half. That number feels really low to me just because of the strength of their division. And plus, like, they won a playoff series last year. Like, I know it was against Cleveland, but like they kind of gave Seattle hell for like a little bit there. So they were like kind of had them on the ropes there. Like, I think this is a super talented ball club that like we've seen over the last 2 years can like win playoff series. They can win playoff games. Like anything can happen when you have Tarik Skubal on the mound. Like it is what it is. 85 and a half feels super low to me. And yes, Ryan, this is like their admission of defeat. Like, hey, like this is it, guys. This is all we're going to do. Like this is Framber Valdez for a ton of money. Let's load up right now. Let's try to win as much as we can this season. And then he's going to walk in free agency because from the Detroit Tigers perspective, you cannot sit there and tell me that you're going to pay him. Like it's not going to happen. Like I don't think that that's going to happen whatsoever. The Framber thing is your admission of defeat, and you can essentially after that figure out your assets. You then like after Skubal, I still think that you can then roll with Framber as a frontline starter and still be a pretty good baseball team in 27 and 28 if you decide to stick around for that last year. Like in that division, if Tarik Skubal leaves Detroit, guys, and they have Framber as their one guy, and they can fill it out, and like Job comes back at some point, and he's everything we expect him to be. Is that team still the best in their division? Like they might still be the best team in that division. Like does Kansas City come up and make a play? Does Cleveland come out and they're great again? Is Chicago going to come out of their rebuild? Like they still might be the best team in that division if they lose Tarik Skubal, plus the assets that they get if they trade him at the deadline this year, and they're not as good as we think they're going to be this year.
Well said. I agree. Well said.
And I'm excited about the two kids over there, too. At some point will come up.
My God. McGonigal is going to be a monster. Again, sorry that I'm so Yankee pilled. Dax Kilby, if you can hear me, look at Kevin McGonigal. Watch every minor league game he has ever played. Please, Dax Kilby. Please, Dax Kilby, if you're hearing this.
Dude, it was really cool talking to them. Dude, whenever guys go to Akron, I try to go see them, and talking to those two, like, you could feel it. You could see it. It's different with those two. I'm excited about those two. So I guess like for both of you, just real quick before we jump to the next topic, AL, like has this offseason, obviously they added Verlander too, but has this offseason solidified the Tigers as a top 5 team in the AL? Yes or no?
So the question is, I think where you can kind of, I think that they're better than this team, but I think it's kind of where the argument lies. Like, are they better than Boston?
I think yes, and I wouldn't even. It's not that I wouldn't entertain a counter argument, but I feel pretty confident in saying that. And the reason I'm there is because Boston doesn't hit for enough power. I cannot get around a team that I can't see a consistent 30-plus home run threat on. And this is not a diss at Roman Anthony. I just have to see it, right? Like I have to see the 30-plus home run power for me to say that. Wilson Contreras is, I think, maxed out at 24, 25 home runs. Yeah. Story has done it before, but he's not that guy anymore. Like he's not that 30-plus home run, middle-of-the-order bat. A lineup of Roman Anthony, Trevor Story, Jarren Duran, Wilson Contreras, Wilyer Abreu, Carlos Narvaez, Caleb Durbin, Marcelo Meyer, Cedon Rafaela. Like there's just not enough power there, man. And there's not like power off the bench. Their rotation is incredible. They're an incredible pitching staff, but I do trust the Tigers to hit for some more power. And I think the Tigers have a better 1-2 punch. I mean, Skubal, I think, is better than Crochet, and Framber, I think, is better than Ranger Suarez. So I would have rather signed Framber to that contract than Ranger to that contract. So again, like I think this is just the better baseball team. And I think the Tigers and the Red Sox are very similar. The Tigers just did the whole two big lefties at the top, weird lineup, but a lot of depth. They just did it way better.
Yeah. So you're talking about Seattle New York.
Yeah, wait. He said here are the teams
in there.
Here are the teams that Vegas, the AL teams that Vegas likes more. Than Detroit. They like the Astros.
I think that's ludicrous.
They're like the Astros, the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, the Mariners, and the Yankees. That's the five.
I can get with Seattle, Yankees, Blue Jays. I can get with those
again, just Vegas. And the only reason I keep bringing it up because I have the page up right now, and I'm looking at it. It's fascinating.
But listen, when we're talking about stuff like that, the sports books are the most accurate on that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
they always are. The house always
they have the most to lose.
Makes sense. Correct. Yeah. So they are a better baseball team than the Houston Astros. 110% they're better.
I think so too. That's surprising.
And I think they're better than Boston too. That one is shocking to me that is the team that's there in front. Like I would think maybe a Baltimore because they pick up Pete and you expect the guys that were really down last year to be a lot better, like a Gunner, like an Adley, like you get a full year beside, you see what you get. But
that next
Houston's
group
confusing.
That next group right below the Tigers that are one win off per Vegas, Orioles, Brewers, Rangers are the next three, all within one win.
Okay.
Food for thought. Orioles, Brewers, Rangers, right there, hovering at 84.5.
Dude, I just think 85.5 games in that division where you can just mop those really poor teams up super easily, and they have in the past.
Framber is so good against Cleveland too. He owns Cleveland.
That is, I think that the one thing that gets misconstrued with Framber Valdez, and he's kind of been getting dragged since the cross-up incident. This is a very good starting pitcher.
Very good.
This is a very good starting pitcher. And because of the cross-up incident, and he wasn't star level like he has been in the past this year. What was it, 3.57 last year? Mm-hmm. He is a super, super talented pitcher. Do not get that twisted. And I think that it gets super confused because of the cross-up situation and how much BS has been talked about this guy. He slots in as a number 2, and Skubal and Framber as a duo at the top of your rotation, where does that rank in the sport? I would imagine it's pretty high.
It's definitely up there. And what that's going to do too for that bullpen is help those bullpen guys kind of on the back half.
Correct.
So I don't know. I think it's great. I do want to transition to the Red Sox just because this one hurt my heart as a Yankees guy, and I know it hurt Ryan too. Caleb Durbin, Kyle Harrison swap essentially. Want to bring it up real briefly. I don't think Yankee Twitter is ready for the discourse if Caleb Durbin plays well against New York and Anthony Volpe doesn't. And it's not even fair to compare the two, but I feel like there is going to be some weird tie in Yankee Twitter to attach them at the hip. This is now 2 off seasons and 2 times Caleb Durbin, who I think is a good baseball player, is the centerpiece of a trade that involves a contender. Thoughts? We'll start with Ryan because you are kind of the Caleb Durbin guy. Thoughts on this deal? And was there some heartbreak attached to seeing a guy like Caleb Durbin go to the Red Sox?
So, first and foremost, it sucks. I thought, I think I was the high man on Caleb Durbin for years, and then he ends up being a good big leaguer. Happened to be elsewhere. That was kind of bittersweet. Now it's going to be in Boston. I think he's a good player. I think the Red Sox got a good player. They got a comp pick. I don't hate this trade in a vacuum for them. I talked about their issues with not having any power in their lineup or not having enough. I don't think you can stick your nose up at Durbin because you need more power. It's Durbin or kind of nothing. It seemed like it was going to be because the Paredes stuff, I just, based on public reporting, never got the sense that the Red Sox were going to be comfortable paying that price, nor should they. I don't see a reason to give up one of Connolly Early or Peyton Tolley for Isaac Paredes. No offense to Paredes, but I think Early is really good. I think Tolley's good. So I like this team a lot for them.
For that package also.
Yeah, if you could, and the report that came out that they said no to Meyer plus one of those two, but were willing to offer Franklin Arias in one of those two. I think it's crazy,
insanely stupid. By the way,
that's really dumb.
Real quick, I like Meyer a lot. I'm sending him off. If that was the breaking point in not getting Marte when that lineup, like you said, needs some pop, needs some power, needs some better hitting. I think this trade made me feel oh my gosh, is Ketel Marte super underrated across the MLB in terms of what he can bring?
I just Mike Hazen's the Diamondbacks GM, I believe. I would have let Mike Hazen break both of my kneecaps with a metal bat if I could get that trade done.
Yeah.
I have no idea how you say no to that. Like I would both my kneecaps would be fried. I have Ketel Marte and I traded a pitching prospect and an infielder who he's replacing. There has to be more. I think there has to be more to that deal. Not discrediting the reporter, but I don't buy that was all.
Alex Spear. Yeah. So
he's very good at his job. I'm just saying,
really
I think there has to be something left out of it.
Yeah, they're an incomplete offense, nuts. Sam. I didn't know if you had thoughts on their offseason as well.
No, it seems nuts. I do have two things, and it is on the Ketel thing. I think the Ketel thing was super stupid. Like, you have the opportunity to add a top-flight, legitimate superstar. He's the best in his position in the entire sport. Like, pretty far and away, he's the best second baseman in baseball, and you decide not to. I think that's unbelievably dumb. This is the same offseason that, Alex Bregman walks, like you trade Rafael Devers last year. Like, however, another note on the Rafael Devers thing, dude, the Rafael Devers trade tree, we're going to look back at the Rafael Devers trade tree, and it's going to be the craziest thing I think we've ever seen in our lives.
It now includes Durbin. So
so like, because they send Harrison away. So when you look at it kind of overall, they trade Rafael Devers for Caleb Durbin. Like, does that make sense for the Red Sox?
That's a fun transitive property to get to. That's just fun.
That's effectively what it is. And granted, there's like 4 or 5 different deals that are like kind of jammed in there, but it's like effectively you traded Rafael Devers for Caleb Durbin. We liked Caleb Durbin a lot. We watched a ton of Caleb Durbin and hyped him up like 2 years ago, right?
Dude, that is a great way to piss off a Red Sox fan. Like, it's just ultimate, like transitive property, a little bit of rage bait in there, but it's like when you step back and look at it, it's like that's who's going to be on the field for them this year.
Well, the one argument I'll hear for this is that, like, Devers was traded for financial purposes, and in that I understand. But here's the thing. It's not like they went out and replaced him with a massive free agent. Don't tell me it was, well, they spent the money to keep Roman Anthony. You should have been you could have a $330 million payroll. If Roman Anthony walks into your office and says, yes, I'll take a clearly below market deal to stay here through my 20s, you sign him. Don't tell me it's Christian Campbell money. Don't tell me it's Ranger Suarez money. Ranger Suarez is a good pitcher. Ranger Suarez has also lost fastball velocity each of the last 3 years. That was your big financial expense. Sonny Gray's a lot of money. They added money in Wilson Contreras. These are 1-year deals. I'm sorry. No. When you trade Rafael Devers, it's to go say, you know what, man? I'm gonna go trade Willie Abreu or Jarren Duran to go get Ketel Marte alongside some prospects, and then I'm gonna put nuts on the table and I'm gonna go sign Kyle Tucker because I just traded Rafael Devers. So I'm gonna go sign big bat.
Wait a second, Ryan. Even if you're not gonna sign Kyle Tucker, extend Bregman. Like, you avoid all the madness if you just extend Bregman and stop trying to, I don't feel comfortable. Like, look, we always talk about you have to be uncomfortable at times with free agents. The Devers thing, you're okay with letting him walk if you extend Bregman, because that was kind of the point of the friction was between him and Bregman and, like, who's playing third. It's like, you messed up that relationship. It went bad. Financial purposes, locker room purposes, whatever. Extend Bregman. Like, if you're not going to sign Tucker, whatever. Like, I think you should. Like, if you're going to financial purposes, but the very, very least you can do is get slightly uncomfortable and sign Alex Bregman.
I agree. I just don't. I understand that financial relief is a thing that does matter when you're trying to win a World Series. Like, at the end of the day, the luxury tax, the penalties that come with that, losing draft picks. But they did not take that money and then promptly spend it on making that team a juggernaut. They took it and they went, all right, well, we've got a team that maybe is as good as the team we had last year. That's not a win to me.
The sport is better when the Boston Red Sox spend money and they want to create this sort of juggernaut that then goes toe-to-toe with the entirety of the American League. The American League East in specific, I know that how huge the Yankee-Red Sox rivalry is, but when you see a team move this way, it's super disheartening. And we're all Yankee fans, but I'm going to tell you guys right now, the sport is better when they spend money and they put out a product on the field that we know can go out there and win a World Series championship. We talk about the Pirates fake spending, right? We've been talking about that the entirety of the episode. When do we start having the conversation about Boston?
It's performative spending.
Can I also say this?
The conversation about Boston, dude. Like, it is right there.
Think of the outcomes they have gotten in the American League East over this offseason, or in the American League in general. Not a single team did everything, pushed their chips all the way in, and built an absolute freaking juggernaut. That team was younger than all these other teams. They had a lower payroll than the Blue Jays and the Yankees did going into the winter. They had more prospects to deal out of. They don't have years and years and years and years of bad draft picks because of spending money and being competitive year in and year out. And they traded Rafael Devers, and they still didn't build a juggernaut. Yeah. What I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not saying this because I think that team is bad or whatever. And I'm not just saying this as Yankee boy. That's embarrassing. And I look, we talked about maybe I shouldn't hold the standard for the Pirates. Fine. For the Red Sox, for the Yankees, for the Blue Jays.
The Red Sox have earned that standard because they've won and they've spent and they've been really good in our lifetimes.
I think it's important to keep the standard. And I really think there are Red Sox fans who I think take it too far. Like with any big market fan base, they just go oh, this team sucks. They don't suck. But yeah, it's embarrassing that you had this much capital prospect and financial capital, and you have a richer owner than Hal Steinbrenner, and you didn't build a team that I consider better than the New York Yankees. And I'm not telling you the Yankees are this is not the 1998 Yankees, man. It's a good Yankee team, not a great one. They're not better than I don't think they're better than Tigers. Don't think they're better than the Mariners. Don't think they're better than the Blue Jays. I think they're better than the Orioles, but that's a maybe. It's a maybe to me. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. That's what you did with your Devers money.
Last thing I want to hit before we get out of here. White Sox misspelled Munetaka Murakami's name in the clubhouse.
Just get it right, guys. Is it that hard? Guys, it's the biggest free agent they've signed in God knows how long. Is it that hard to put an A?
Yes, it is.
Is it that difficult, guys?
Oh, dude, it's the White Sox are always on it, man. It's all right, spring training's here. Who's going to have the first, mess up, right? Who's going to have this first social media mess up? And it seems like he was being a good sport about it. But, of course, your big free agent fish, your fan base is so excited, and you spell his name wrong on day one. So shout out the White Sox for being the White Sox. Never change, bud.
It's like the first day of school, and you sit down for class attendance, and your teacher mispronounce your name.
Just butchers it.
Just messes up your name completely, to a T. That's what that reminds me of. It's dude, it's the first day of school. You know what I mean? How do you mess that up? Right? It's embarrassing. Okay, and he's a good sport about it. Good for him. That's awesome. But dog, for the biggest star, it probably the largest international star they've ever signed in their franchise's history. Dude, it's day one. You guys kidding me right now?
Just get the name right.
Yeah, that is another team that I'm gonna put in the bucket of. Yeah, I know that it's really popular right now to hype up their offseason. Not a fan. Not a fan of what they did this winter.
Their offseason
no, they don't. Congratulations on being one of the only teams in baseball to give Austin Hayes a starting job. Congratulations on signing an incredibly flawed Japanese player solely because you wanted the PR boost, and then proceed to immediately disrespect his family name on day one. Congratulations on signing Eric Fetty. Good job. Seranthony Dominguez. Good job. Yeah, again, good. Good job. You have a team that could be fun, could be interesting, or Murakami's probably going to hit 200, strike out 250 times, and they're still going to.
Well, dude, it's going to be Murakami huge bomb to cut the lead to 8.
It's you know what it is.
But this is food for the Tigers. This is what I was talking about earlier. This is food for the Tigers.
They're fodder.
Yeah.
Until I just again I'm so Yankee brained. I look at this kind of stuff and I go, this is pathetic.
We gotta break you out of that, man.
No, it's just we have to do
a different hat or something.
You
gotta wear one of these or something, dude.
Dude. I can't
janks, dude.
I can't look at the constant social media. Look at how well they did, and then you have teams that are actually making themselves better. Teams who are actually going out and competing. Teams who compete every year, and it's wow, this team's a joke. And it's let's celebrate the White Sox. They're winners this winter. Winners of what, dude? Congrats,
Ryan and Sam. Before we get out of here, who do you think Vegas's bottom 3 win totals are in the whole sport?
Nationals,
Colorado.
Bank it.
Yeah, so Colorado's the very bottom at 52.5.
Colorado.
Nationals are second at 65.5, tied with another team.
Is it
White Sox?
Is it
yes, the White Sox are tied at 65.5, bottom barrel, and then above them, you've got Cardinals at 69, Angels at 70. Hey guys, this is a great pod. Make sure you check out all the socials. They're booming right now. All breaking news. They've got we've got at Fireside Baseball on all the socials. Fireside Yankees is booming. Fireside Mets is booming. Everything's going the right way. Anything you guys want to say before we close on out of here?
Go Pirates.
I'm excited.
Go Buckeyes. Go Buckeyes. That's all I got for you.
Baseball's back, baby.
78 wins for my Buckeyes this year. I'm telling you guys, dude.
I'm the high guy on the Pirates. I said 79. You guys are 77. Are you kidding me?
That's like my favorite.
But the thing is, it's about we're happy with it. That's Ryan. That's Sam. This is Fireside Baseball.